Welcome folks, in this video we will be actually implementing the statics class. So it is going to be a public class statistics, and we are going to have a private instance variable which will be an array of ints as data. And now for the constructor, so public statistics, and now we can see the constructor only takes an array. So from here only an array comes into the constructor. Of that we are going to make data is equal to array, and then for most of the operations like the mode and the median, we would actually have to sort the data first, and it is not mentioned anywhere that the data is going to be in a pre-sorted order, so we have to sort it, and we have to write this sort method. This sort method has to be written by us ourselves. So public void sort, and here comes the method statements. So we are going to iterate over the data, and we are going to find the minimum value, and then we are going to put it in the first place. Now the rest of the array, the rest of the data in the array except the minimum value, we are going to iterate over that and again find the minimum value and then place it at the beginning, and we will keep doing this until the last element, and by the time we finish, the array would be sorted in ascending order. This type of sort is also known as insertion sort. So let us now implement it. So for we will initialize I to 0, and we will keep iterating till I is less than data dot length -1 and I plus plus. So what this statement actually means is that we are going to iterate over the number of times we have our values -1. So if we have like 5 values, we are going to iterate over the array 4 times. And now for the code inside it, so we are going to initialize the min index, and this min index will hold an integer value that corresponds to the box in the array whose box value, the number in the box is the least among the array. So this min index will be an index towards the minimum value in the array, and this get min index, we will implement another method here and we'll pass it I, our parameter, and then we are going to swap the min index with I. So what it's going to do, it will keep iterating. At first I will be equal to 0, and so it will initialize min index to whatever this get min index returns with its parameter at 0. Now this get min index, it will return the index of the minimum value between boxes I and the last box. And so when the first one is 0, it means that the whole array is under consideration, and it will return the minimum value in the whole array. And then we are going to swap the position 0, that is the first position, with that minimum index position. We are going to swap those values, and so the smallest value will come first, and then all the rest of the values will come. So now let us implement these two another methods one by one. So here is get min index, actually public int get min index. It will take an integer of the start index. Now first let us initialize min index to -1, a value which can't it possibly take. Well, it is a good thing to do that. Also the min value to be equal to integer dot max value, and the reason for taking such a value will be clear quite quickly. So let I be the start index. It will iterate until I is less than data dot length and I plus plus, and actually a little bit wrong here, I plus plus. Now if data which is at the position I is less than the min value, we are going to do a couple of things. We are going to set min index to I, which is the current value. If the current value happens to be less than our already thought upon min value, the whatever value that min value is having, then we have found another value which is lower than the min value, and we are now going to assign the index to point at this box. And also min value will become data I. And look here, for this statement to execute, the data.I should be less than the min value. Now suppose what will happen if our min value is like 0 and the smallest value present in data I, present in all of the array of the data, is actually 100. In that case, the system will assume, this algorithm will assume that the min value is 0, which is actually not making sense. It is not even present in your data. So we have to make min value to be bigger than the smallest value, and so we make it biggest than all of the values, and the biggest integer can get is integer dot max value, the constant in the integer class which represents the maximum value of an integer. And so this will ensure that at the very first point, that is data 0, is always going to be less than min value. In that case it would be assigned this and this. And after all this, we are going to return whatever min index we found. That's good. And now swap method, public void swap, we'll get int index A and int index B. And this is actually very simple. We make a temporary variable to hold one of the data values, and then other data value. Now the value of data index A is residing in the temp, so we can change whatever there is in index A, we make it equal to data index B. And now whatever was there in data index B becomes our temp variable, and this is also done. Now we can get to actual statistics things like the mean, median and modes. First let us find the mean, which is the easiest of all the three. So public double, notice here mean is in double, so we have to take care of that. So public double get mean. So we will make the sum to be equal to 0. Now we will iterate over the array. This will keep adding the value which is present in the current block of the array to the sum variable, that is the sum. And now simply we are going to be returning sum divided by data dot length. Yes, we have implemented the get mean method. Now public double get median. Now why I'm making it double? Because get median in case of like even number of blocks, that is a even data length. Suppose we have only 2 blocks and the numbers are like 1 and 2. What is their median? Their median is actually 1.5, and that is a double. So that's why we are taking a double. So public median, take over that. So public double get median. We will initialize L to data dot length, so I don't have to type that over and over again in this method. Now if L%2 happens to be equal to 0, that means if it is even, then in that case we are going to be returning their average. So what is their average? So their average is data this. L divided by 2 will actually give us 3. To that we will add data whatever is present at L divided by 2, which will also give us 3, but minus 1, this will give us 2. We will add this both and now make it a double. This is casting, and when whatever we have is a double, we are going to divide that by 2, and for reasons that it does not get anything weird, 2.0. And if that is not the case, we are going to be returning data and L by 2. L by 2, like for example, now suppose we have something of 5, meaning that the data length is like 5, so we have index 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, so we want 2. 5 divided by 2 is 2, because this is integer division, and hence it will actually work. And we have implemented our get median method also. Now heading to the public int get mode, and as you will see, it happens to be a little more complicated than the else, but in fact it is very intuitive. So we will make an array, temporary array, and we will make its length equal to data.length. Let this like be an array of, let me think, 4 divisions, and it has like 1, 2, 2 and 3. This is our main data array. Sorry for the handwriting, I am actually trying to do this with a mouse, I don't have a stylus. And this happens to be the temp array. So what we are going to do is, we will actually in this box fill like 1. First of all, it would be 1. Now we will move on to the next one. If this next value in the data box happens to be the equal to the previous value, then we will store previous value plus 1. If it happens to be a different value, we will store simply 1. Now moving over to 2, it is same as the previous value, so we are going to store plus 1, we are going to store 2. Now moving on to 3, it is different, we are going to store 1. Now finally we are going to iterate over this temp and find the index which has the maximum value, which happens to be index 3. This is index 0, 1, 2 and 3. I'm sorry, it means index 2 has the greatest value. And now we will go back to the data array, and at index 2 access the value, and it is our mode. Let me show this with another example also. So let this be our data. It will be like this. Now it contains much more boxes, and remember all this time that this array has to be sorted, only then this method would work. It would like store 1, 1, 3, 4, 4, 4. This is our data. So our data, and this is our temporary array. How to find the mode, and these are its corresponding boxes. We are here at 1. The first place will always be 1. Next one matches to the previous one. Take the previous one in temp and add 1. It becomes 2. In data next one, it is different, 1. In data next one, it is different, 1. In data next one, it is same. So from temp plus 1. In data next one, from data it is same. So from temp, take over the previous one, add 1. Now iterate over this array, find the maximum value, find the corresponding value in the data array, and that is our mode. And this is how it would be taken off. So let me clear all these, and now we are going to implement this. So as I told, temp 0 is going to be 1. Now we are going to iterate over I is equal to 1 till I is less than data dot length I plus plus. Now if whatever is there at data I, it happens to be equals to whatever was there at data I minus 1, and that is why we cannot start at 0. If we make I is equal to 0, then data 0 equals data minus 1. That will cause an index array out of one exceptions, and that's why we have to start at 1 so that we can look backward. If that happens to be equal, then temp the same ith index will be equal to temp at I minus 1 index plus plus. Else, that means they are different numbers, it is going to be that temp I equals 1. And now when we exit this loop, all we have to do is to find the greatest value which occurs in our temp array and to find that corresponding index also. So int mode value is equal to minus 1, something to initialize it, and int max value is equal to integer dot min value. And now you should understand the reason why while finding the maximum value we are first initializing it to integer dot min value. You must understand it. It's like similar to that one which we were doing while sorting the array. So for initialize I to be equal to 0 till I is less than temp dot length I plus plus. Then if whatever is that at temp I it happens to be greater than the maximum value found so far, the max value is going to be equal to the temp I, and mode value will become I. When we finish this loop, mode value will be having the index of that value in the temp array which has the maximum value, and so we are going to return data mode value. Actually, more appropriately I should have named it mode index, but you get the meaning. And now we have implemented our statics class also. Thank you.